Well, welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Thanks for tuning in on YouTube here. We're at Wallace Field here at the campus of the University of Victoria. We are here for the Whiteman Boot. Fantastic occasion in men's university rugby. Great tradition here. Just had a wonderful ceremony to start the game here on Truth and Reconciliation weekend here. Both teams paid tribute. And of course, we acknowledge and respect the Lekwungen peoples here on the West Coast, whose traditional territory the university stands upon. And Songhees Esquimalt and Wassanek peoples, whose historic relationships we rely on to be here and to play this great sport. What an exciting afternoon here. Beautiful sunshine, Wallace Field on the campus of the University of Victoria on Vancouver Island here. It is UBC who have just mistouched there with that kick. They're in the white and dark blue jerseys, the Thunderbirds, up against the Vikes in the yellow jerseys. I said, what a great tradition, rivalry this is, UBC, men's university rugby here. We've had lots of rugby all day long. We'll get you up to speed on that with the second teams playing before this and the women ahead of that. That clearing kick from UVic gets them into play. Our referee for this match is Sarah Turner. To have a man of experience in the middle. A UBC grad, he tells us, but it will not play a factor here some 20 years ago. So both sides have had some early possession. We're about 3 or 4 minutes into the game. Nothing to show for it on the scoreboard. That's a good line out from UBC hitting at the tail. Now, not surprisingly, hitting midfield. Through Isaac Kelly, but a crushing tackle from the gun leg. Oh, just putting it in there. And more big hits midfield. That's the passion on display here from these student athletes. And UVic who won the penalty, and the home crowd will tell you what they think of that. And just to further set the stage here, the Whiteman boot is up for grabs. UVic entered this game with a 16-point advantage. 30 to 14-point victory 2 weeks ago over at UBC, Gavin Field. So they are in the ascendancy here. It has been 9 years since the men in yellow, since the UVic Vikes have lifted the Whiteman boot, which is the trophy that's battled out between UVic and UBC. Great win for UVic there. Of course, they're littered with fifth-year seniors who have not much more time on their hands after this to prove their dominance over their traditional rivals. Penalty advantage being played to UBC. Will they use it? Will they kick? They're going to go short. It's physical battle up front. It's something we'll keep an eye on. It's something that UVic feels strongly. They won last week. That was part of the reason for that result. Loose ball on the field. The referee's going to bring it back. Midfield offside is the second penalty. So better field position for UBC. Choices there for Jack Carson, of course, the local boy. He and Max Abercrombie, his 10 today, both from Oak Bay High School just down the road. Both CW products, Castaway Wanderers. So Jack Carson doesn't have quite as many of his namesake on the team sheet as we've seen in previous years. It's been quite a turnover, especially up front for the UBC pack. Donald Sr.'s son, Cody Carson in the 6th jersey. The UBC Old Boy Ravens, now the benefactors of the Carson clan at the moment in the BC Premiership. There's a good line out again, well thrown, not able to get his hands on it. Especially perhaps a hint of an early tackle. Play on, Kelly has hands on it midfield. Good possession for UBC. A little bit deep as Abercrombie, but they now go wide. There's a hint of an advantage. Falling one hand for the fullback. Goes back to Biss. James Biss in his first year at the university. It's here's pedigree for him from the UK, but Canadian qualified. To impress, as all these guys are, the national head coach, Kingsley Jones, who has a development tour to select for down to Brazil. There's Jacob Bourne, proud UBC man. He's been a great servant to the club. Billy McCall on the wing here, the 14 jersey. Penalty advantage being played again against UVic. So a chance for UBC to throw the dice a little bit here. They're keeping that ball alive. Abercrombie in a good supporting role. Still advantage on. Witt doesn't go to hand. Biss tries to keep it alive. The referee's going to bring it back. And Reeson is off his feet at the breakdown. And, Dave Casey has a little word. Two captains for these teams, Jonas Robinson in the 14 jersey and Jack Carson, both former teammates at Castaway Wanderers, but now rivals in this famous match. Abercrombie signals. He's going to have a shot at the goal. Kicked very well last week in an impressive victory for UBC over Trinity Western Spartans, 40 points to 14. Again, a man who's played a few games on this field from his high school days and his club days. So it won't be a stranger to Wallace Field here. Of course, the venerable Bob Wallace, named after him, former Chancellor of the University of Victoria. And it's great to be bringing you this match. I'm Gareth Reese up here, a proud Vikes alum myself, and great to have Vikes event team and Ben on the camera bringing you this game wherever you are in the country or around the world. We work from Scott Manning and the Vikes program to bring you this game. So Abercrombie with his trusted right boot, just 15 meters in from the sideline. One from the training pitch, the hashtag with the 22. Clean strike, head down. Just pushed it in front of the poles. The flags won't go up. 22-meter dropout for you, Vic. At this point, there is a bit of a gusty wind that would have pushed that one away from Abercrombie, just from that far side of the field. Now, using the right boot, Luke and Hager, they go really long. Bobbing around, Abercrombie. Fullback Matt Priscilla, one of the most exciting players out here. A college product, sevens cap player. Some good early possession here and more advantage for UBC. So UVic are guilty. More advantage for that knock on tackle. Domu Wilson Valdez comes back against the grain. Good decision from him. So lots of possession from UBC. The Thunderbirds doing their job. And Brooks, one tackle, just the ankle tap. On. So we're going to come back yet again for a penalty midfield. This is going to be of concern for Scott Manning, the head coach, UVic Vikes, and Thomas Robinson, their captain. A few penalties mounting up as we have an injured Thunderbird on the far side of the field. Worth mentioning, this is the Whiteman boot. Winky Whiteman, Brian Whiteman, is named after a former UBC coach, a man from Loughborough Colleges in the UK, came out to Cowichan High School to teach and then put in some time. This fixture has been named after him. Generations have played for the Whiteman boot. UVic had their first best chance, in some years. It's been 9 years since they've lifted the cup, such as the UBC Thunderbird domination. And concern there, just going to get some treatment on the sideline. Looks like maybe a shoulder injury. We'll keep an eye on that. It's going to be a full sub, and it is. And on the field, see who it is. 22, don't have him in my roster. Apologies there. Time will come back on here from our referee. Here we go. Jack Carson's on the ball. Again, part of this story tradition involves his family, his extended family. Carson sticks that one just past the 22. Carson, uncles and fathers both played for UBC and UVic and shared it. Donald Sr., Canadian International, played for both. And we've seen their presence in the last 5 years in BC Rugby, and it continues. While the big Mick from Murdoch Casey gets out there, but he can't steal it for UVic. So UBC off, pounding again. Good carry from Jacob Bossy, another man who knows this part of the world pretty well, from Suit BC. He's a senior leader for them. Good hands in the midfield. Dancing out of the tackle is Dakota McMullen. Carson with a half gap. The right arm's free, but no one to offload to. Finally gets it to Abercrombie. Just 5 meters short of the line are UBC. Now they're going with a pick and go game. The big boys backing themselves. Good work so far. Now just less than a meter from the line. And the arm goes up. First try of the Whiteman boot goes to UBC Thunderbirds. Tough to see who it is. Maybe that man, Jacob Bossy, white shirt. So, good interplay from the backs and a half break from the captain. He's up with a try for the big boys up front. Apologies, didn't quite get a number for you. Josh Downs. Again, unclear for me here. Another replay. Extras looking to be added. The early lead for UBC. Keep in mind, they're trying to make up a 16-point deficit. Steal the Whiteman boot. There's a better strike from Abercrombie, straight down the middle. 7-0, UBC take the early lead here in Victoria. A lot of momentum against this UVic side with these penalties.
Converted by number 10, back to Abercrombie.
Lots of chat from the assistant officials giving a bit of feedback. The man in the middle, Mr. Turner. Signal comes in from Ethan Hager. Palmer's student from Brantford, Ontario. He hands this one sort of midfield. It's a kick, and the offload to Kelly, midfield. The confusion there. Getting his hands on his big Caden Wilson, 6'8", 260. Decent pedigree from that young man as well. His father, a Canadian international, Andrew Wilson, the Vancouver Rowing Club, and the Cats, I suppose. Great to see this second, third generation, in some cases, players out here. Put them on the park, and we'll get to those later. That is Caden Wilson with a good early touch from him. Carson, keeping it alive to Abercrombie. Sporting family here in Victoria too. Looks like there's a steal on the counter ruck from UVic. They've got their hands on it. A bit flat-footed. Was Gunlade. They go wide. 1-1 for the moment. Robinson out wide, but it doesn't go to hand. Off his knee. Referee's going to give UBC the option. A little bit of a jump from the crowd here. Looked like Robinson may have been into some space there. Just couldn't hold on. Jonas Robinson, the fifth-year man. A leader of this group. Has some injury issues, managing a shoulder. Some time off last year. All these teams are firing up for the Kenny University Men's Rugby Championship. We held this into November, into December at UBC. Great competition. The last two finals have in fact featured these two teams from out west. Back in 2019, UVic lifted the cup. It's the McTavish Cup, named after Spencer McTavish, the former UBC legend and coach player. That's a touch. So UVic won that one back in 2019 over UBC. We'll get back to play and then tell you what happened post-COVID at Queens last year. So UVic, their first decent attacking opportunity, but for that wide one. The short ball is the option. Fortunately, offload, it doesn't go to hand. Advantage to UBC. Does accrue, they've got the ball. Buckingham takes a big hit there. Okanagan man. That goes wide. Jacob Bourne's on it into space now. He's got great feet. Those orange boots. Chooses to kick ahead. He's bundling the touch. Referee seems to think it's okay. And wisely, Casey lets it run dead. So it's going to be a goal line dropout. Kicked over by UBC, the new law for last season. Casey chooses to touch it down. So UBC will have to be back 5 meters. And a bit like rugby league, if you're following that code, UVic will have to drop out from their own line. There it goes. The longest kick, and of course it can't go straight out. So good possession for UBC, and a hard carry for Ethan Barry, the Vancouver boy. More advantage. Referee's fed up, I think, with too many penalties. We could see some action here. UVic into their 6th penalty so far. Big hit. Referee's asking for his assistant official to get the number, and here we go. Time's off. We could have a bit of a discussion. They've identified Hager. Well, nice bit of refereeing there. Game management from Sarah Turner. Just too many penalties. The warning has been gone into the UVic captain. I would think another one fairly soon, maybe a yellow card. Now, I think it's probably deserved. Just over 2 minutes into this match. Not an exact time here, but what an opportunity for UBC. We don't quite have that massive dominance that we've seen in the past, but they do have some big units up there, to the likes of Wilson and Kelly, big line-out targets, and they've already scored a try through pounding through the forwards. Let's see what comes now. 5 meters out, here goes the Thunderbirds. The big leg drive. It's not formed up properly, so they have to release it out wide. On the hard angles, Ethan Barry. It's all UBC at the moment. They got their hands on the ball. UVic are rocked on the back foot, and again they're driving. The pick and go, but a penalty against UBC. Reprieve for UVic. The referee claiming, I think that big Caden Wilson is crawling on the ground. That's a little harsh. But he's made the call, and UVic are delighted. They're very much under the gun right now, and there's a slice kick there. UVic not doing the basics well at the moment, it must be said. So full penalty, give them possession. Beanie Corns, the hooker, health and recreation major. Cameron High School, again, just over the hill here. Great program. Now UVic finally get into their patterns. There's a pod waiting. Back for the exit strategy on the boot of Casey, but it's blocked. He's taken way too long. That ball's alive. There's no offside off the block kick. So UVic dodged the ball. Casey again, it goes with a crazy little kick. I don't know what he's thinking there. Good offload. Driving for the line. A meter out is Ethan Barry. UBC all over it. They're over the line. So punishing the mindless mistake from Gabe Casey. And UBC with their second try of the afternoon. Got to be said, they're worthy of it, and they have made up pretty close to the gap they entered the game with for the Whiteman boot. 2 early tries. So UBC have taken the ferry journey to compose themselves, and they come out firing here. Referee picking up some afters off the ball, got game involved, so the Bossy gets a little message to take back. Abercrombie looking to add 2 more. And he does. So 14 points unanswered from the UBC Thunderbirds. Well, the UBC Vikes have given very little for their home crowd to cheer about.
19th minute by number 9, Jack Carson, converted by number 10,
Ottawa. Casey, a little apology to his team there. 23-year-old just putting his team under pressure with 2 poor clearing kicks. Look to make amends. Right now it'll be the right foot of Ethan Hager, Ontario product from Brantford. That's a great kick, deep and long. Kelly has had a lot of carries so far in this match, forcing UVic to put the bodies on the line. Good tackle there from Gunlade. He's saying he was off his feet as he competed for that ball. So right now it's all UBC managing this game. Carson and Abercrombie managing the tempo. And UBC infringing in a really unmanageable penalty count at the moment. That's the leadership for some of these UVic Vikes players. A lot of emotion in this, many of them in their 5th year. He said there's a whole cohort. Have a condensed lineup for UVic. Sorry, for UBC. 5 men in. Bossy to throw it. Little overthrow. Well gathered by the replacement. Drop tackle. Dane Keys brought down. Still going to Jacob Bossy to the quick pick. Brentwood college product, former college school just up the Malahat. Well, real urgency and good discipline from UBC. Carson, hesitation. Puts Dakota McMullen, twin brother Talon not available here, managing some injuries. And the steal, and it's a good one from Marcus Lott. He's the late addition to the Vikes side, and he's won his team the ball back there. Oh, and there was options on out wide. And again, Casey's hesitated, and it's going to cost you, Vic. Will it cost him points? Yes, it does. Josh Downs in the corner. He's going to have a little chat here to make sure that's all legal. Question is, was there a hand in the tackle when Casey popped up the ball? No knock-ons, so the try's been awarded. The third one of the first half for UBC. Of course, there's no TMO or replay here. The referee did all he could. He spoke to his match official. Robinson, the Vikes captain, hoping that there's a different interpretation, but it won't be. So again, Casey really overcomplicating things. And they paid the price. He's got a little bit of wind picking up here. It's coming straight across this field, so we'll be pushing Abercrombie's kick to his right post. Abercrombie. Sweet strike with the right foot. Pushed it. No, he's pushed it down the middle. Well, the Victoria boy is making a misery, adding the extras. 3 converted tries now for UBC, giving them a 21-point lead. Here in Victoria, the Whiteman boot is now in the hands of UBC. That 16-point deficit erased, and UBC up 5 points in that 2-game total for the prestigious Whiteman boot. UVic have really offered nothing in attack here, and again the kick when they regain possession. Carson very happy to bang that long and have a line out at the halfway line and saying to UVic, come on, if you want, you got to come 50 meters. You've shown us nothing so far. Test of character. Unicorns throw in, just a 3-man lineup, though the pod arriving late, turning into a 5-man lineup. They go to the back, the throw is not straight and under, and it's not cleaned up by UVic. Again, not doing the basics. UBC will have a free opportunity here on the advantage. Peyton Tinyeki. Good work. Oh, great offload from Ethan Barry. He's been sharp early on, and UBC are flying. Jake Barn on the outside. That right arm is free, but it's just been spilled forward. And then a penalty for UBC after the ensuing breakdown. So the local crowd giving a big cheer on that. The turnover, that's all they've had to cheer for here. Well, what a turn up here. UVic very confident after that outstanding performance in UBC 2 weeks ago, winning that match 30 points to 14, but no way they can rest on their pride, rest on their laurels, sorry. There's possession, something to build from. Inside, good work from them. Finally, UVic rate their back line. Going to come back. Big loud whistle. The referee didn't want to play advantage there. I wonder if there's something off the ball, if he's going to have a chat. Yeah, he's going to have a word with the captain. Again, Sarah Turner looking for all the help he can. Inform you, the substitute player 22 on the field for that early injury. The referee's deeming he could have pulled out on his tackle on the scrum half. It's going to be a yellow card for an unnecessary challenge there. So a bit of an advantage here for UVic Vikings. 14 men on the field for UBC. And that's why he blew up. So 10 minutes in the sin bin. Late tackle. Again, poor kick to the sideline. Bourne keeps it in play. UVic, their own worst enemy at the moment. That one's going to come infield. And give Martin Feek a chance. Again, Logan Martin Feek hits it long. One of the most experienced pedigree players of this UVic team. They'll be looking to put the game on his back somewhat, see if they can produce something. Carson with a tentative run puts Persilia under a bit of pressure. Another Brentwood graduate out there. And UVic have won the penalty. An interesting choice here. Down 21 for Captain Robinson. What's he going to choose? This is a very kickable kick right in front. They want to get some points on the board. And they've called the scrum, so UVic backing themselves. Good decision with only 14 Thunderbirds on the field for UBC. Midfield scrum options both sides. Of course, UBC will have to match 8 in the scrum. The laws of the game require that. So a heap of ground to cover for the UBC backs right now. Casey's off to the left of your scrum. Robinson first receiver to the right for UVic. Scrummage, back to the scrummage. They're going to go with Casey. Referee's playing advantage because they come on. Flat ball to Casey. Another kick through. Pressure. Does it bounce kindly? This is running back. This has got a knee to it. Did he get a hand to it? Yes. So the referee's going to bring it all the way back for the penalty advantage. Again, interesting tactics. Casey putting the ball on the ground. He's attacking kicks. This did well to outchase the Vikes attack, and they're going to choose the scrum again. Of course they are. Same situation. Now Robinson and Casey having a little chat off the ball. Playmaker and captain. Robinson may have seen something off to the right of the UVic scrum. Let's see where they go. Again, the complement of Eason, Martin Feek, and Casey up to the left with Crindle out wide. Again in penalty against UBC for bringing it around. They get the ball alive. They're playing with advantage here. Great step from the scrum half. Goes off his left again. He's brought down 7 meters out. First sign of life for UVic. Hitting the line hard. Quick pick from the big boys. Now 3 meters out. Penalty advantage. The ball in right arm. Reaching for the line. Try for UVic. Now we see the emotion. Back in the ball game. The UVic Vikes get their first try of the afternoon. Through the cooker. Beanie Corns. Great opportunism from this UVic pack. Credit Ethan Smith, the scrum half. He knew he was on advantage. He made the little dart, kept that ball alive. Great support from the forwards. I know, talking to the Vikes coaching staff, they felt an advantage at scrum time. They just had 2 penalties awarded to them against UBC. And also the physical presence up front. So a wake-up call for UVic, and they're back in the ball game. 21 points to 5. Now 21 points to 7. Here about 3/4 of the way through the first half here in the Whiteman boot. Gareth Reese, thanks for joining us on YouTube.
Vikes fans, that is a Vikes try scored
get
at
their
the
first
30th
try
minute by
of the match.
number 2, Ryder Heaney Corn.
And finally
Supported
something
by
for the crowd to
number
cheer
12,
about.
Logan Martin Feek.
So UBC still down a man. Got about, let's say, 6.5 more minutes. UVic have the advantage. They go long. Will UVic try and play up tempo? No, they're going to bang it long and play in the other end. Use that wind, and that wind is very much behind that kick. Not a bad decision there. UBC line out, but lots of territory for UVic. The venerable Mike Moss on the touchline here. Couch and Piggy. Pesky flanker who chased me many times on this field, but is now returning to the game. Great to see him serving through the referee community. That lineout is not straight. And he'll see that as a compliment on Paul Pesky. Well, I can't stress enough how many great players have come out of these 2 programs. We just alluded to the fact that both national finals for the Canadian University Men's Rugby Championship have been contested. The last one in 2021. Played at Queen's University last year in the snow. UBC dominated UVic and lifted the crown. And they'll do it all again in November. As I said, get your tickets for that over at UBC end of November, beginning of December. And there's a great event the Friday night planned for alumni for all universities, not just UBC, so get your tickets for that. Get out and support these great student athletes. Fine programs. Shout out to Mike Holmes at UVic. Great run here, a great drop there. Scything run, as we said, Martin Feet. His team needs him, and it's a beautiful run back in field, and UVic in the ascendancy now. Man advantage, and they're starting to win some collisions. UBC falling off a few tackles. Slow ball production, and it's because there's hands on it illegally by UBC. Sitting a quick tap. Roy Smith will bring it back. Just to finish that, Mike Holmes and the Canadian Rugby Foundation supported that men's universities rugby championships, the 15s event, whereas the women have a U Sports event that served their game incredibly well. A lot of efforts now being made to bring men's 15s into the U Sport family for a 15s championship under Mike's leadership and a few others. Jeff Chan and his team. The unofficial championship has produced great results over the last 6 years. Goes again at UBC in November. Get out and support it. UVic with the put in, looking to claw their way back. They're down 14 points. Get up midfield. The show and go from big Ethan Hager. 5 meters out. Again, UVic winning all the collisions midfield here. Standing still a little bit was Murdoch Casey. He's brought down. Now on the move. Good power from UVic over the line. Yes! Try awarded. Second try with the UBC man in the sin bin. Celebrations and delight for the fullback. It's Andrew Eason. Other man from Oakville, Trafalgar High School. The crew have got one on the board here in the Whiteman booth. Geography major Andrew Eason has claimed his territory. 2 minutes left in that sin bin. So we're taking a power play stat here. 2 tries for UVic. While that man's in the bin. That was an illegal late shot. So costly for UBC, who were very much in command. 21 points 0 up here. Logan Martin Feet had the extras. 50 man in social sciences. Some injury issues. Some interest from MLR clubs, Major League Rugby. Consider his options after he finishes his social sciences degree here. He stay full-time in rugby. Now his job is just to take this one through with the right boot and hold it. So costly mistake, and maybe that wind, which is picked up a bit here. Wallace Field always got a blustery wind.
That's another Vikes try in the 34th minute. Coming from number
The Vikes
50,
narrow that gap to 9 points.
Eason.
UBC up 21 points to 12. With just over 5 minutes left to go here in the first half, plus injury time. And UBC will kick off, still a man short. Sarah Turner just giving both sets of leaders instructions. Conciliate. Good foot skills on him as well. He kicks that one long. This is going to come back with interest using that wind, and why not? Great knowledge of the pitch here, and a beautiful 60-meter kick, putting UBC back on their heels yet again, 10 meters into their own half. Well, Ethan Hager's really stepped up with a couple of big plays. 6 for 2, 195. Commerce student here at UVic. Whole group of these 50th players who served the program, spent a lot of time in the Norseman, the second team program. They're very much committed, and Scott Manning and previously Doug Tate ran a real program up here with the whole club is committed. Saw the Norseman get a really impressive win before this game in the kickoff over UBC second team. It was 28 points to 24, went right down to the wire with a spirited comeback from UBC seconds. Warren just trips up on those orange boots for the moment. UBC old boy Raven product in St. George's School. Kelly decides to offload this one. And UBC running out the clock of the sin bin and just showing good confidence on the ball. There's a show and go. The jersey grab just enough to stop Foreplay from McMullen. Well, UBC interlocking well, backs and forwards. This is their best piece for the last 10 minutes. Abercrombie just gets his fingers on it. Silly keeps it alive. Bourne out wide. Big flanker, Josh Downs, a try scorer, wrapped up on the sideline, and the local crowd will let you know what they think. Penalty against UVic. So again, Casey goes in to compete, not supporting his body weight. And that will do it for the sin bin. So because it's a penalty, well, they can bring him in because it's a UBC penalty. So Casey's had a bit of a half to forget here, but such is the potential or the hopes for this young man. I'm sure he'll respond after the half. A couple bears and more than a few penalties on him. So out of the bin comes the UBC player. I'll be back on. We're back to 15 on 15. It was a costly 12 points during that 10-minute break. But UBC now in UVic territory. 2.5 minutes to play. There's a Kelly. He's going to line up there all day in midfield. He's a big ball carrier. Advantage to UVic as the ball's knocked forward. Martin Peak just rubbing it in a little bit on the man who knocked on. Referee not liking it. Well, no surprises, a bit of niggle in a UBC game. Some great battles over the years. This was at some points almost a national trial with the best and brightest of the country's young players. So many great names linked to both programs. We mentioned Spence McTavish, Don Spence, Barry Lee. Dave Brown has revitalized this program. UVic go through the hands. Robinson keeps that ball alive. He's not held, so he plays up. So good energy from UVic here. They respond in the dying moments of this first half. Casey's going to go long and use that win wisely. He's going to roll away. Anyone who's played on this field knows that's a death corner when the wind is doing this. Vasili's coming out from the back, shows the kick, but then dances. He's got good feet, but he's brought down. Outstanding tackle from Ryder Heaney Corns. He's been effective in this first half, the hooker, getting all over the park. And now it's the UBC hooker, Jacob Bossy. Keeps it alive. Both sides willing to play through the hands. Former Wilson Valdez brought down, the Okanagan player. Great to see so many several Okanagan players represented here in this Vancouver Victoria tilt. Bourne has to step in one of his roles at scrum half. Keep the play alive. There's a roll. Is it an extra roll? No, referee says okay. Referee's letting them go right now. It's good to see student athletes. They want to play. Kelly puts it down. Advantage being played to UVic, but a second knock on will mean it'll just be a scrum. A little bit of afters. Players sticking up for each other. Nothing really too crazy. Ethan Hager sticking up for his player he thought was injustice. An initial knock on, I think, and we'll see what the referee has to say. He's going to speak to both captains, I think. Carson and Robinson will be called in for a little chat. And that'll give both teams a chance to settle down. Got it right. A little bit of niggle there. And I think both these teams are aware of the great rivalry. Talked about the UBC coaches from over the years. Equally, we mentioned Bob Wallace, who was one of the founders of this program going back UVic days. Of course, the great, not only UVic coaches, but national team coaches, and Dave Doherty and Bruce Howe. Most recently, Doug Tate has had a bit of a dynasty up here, producing 7s and 15s players. Howard Brewing, of course, one of the great names, is no longer with us. We'd love to see this battle. Probably like to see that little bit of niggle we saw there. Just great men who've done so much for student rugby and Canadian rugby. And UVic and UBC have many of them to celebrate. Big scrum again from UVic. They go with the flow. Casey gets it through the hands. Stopped in his tracks as Logan Martin feet. Penalty to UVic. Legal steal there. I believe it's Ethan Berry who hasn't rolled away. Quick tap from the scrum half. Smith. UVic wanting to play with up tempo. The dying moments of the first half here. Can they get their third try? UBC opened the half with 3. That one going for the interception is knocked forward. Robinson cleans it up, and the referee wisely letting him have advantage because this half will end, I believe. He calls that knock on. Good refereeing there. He is going to bring it back. And letting the players know there's no penalty there because it's a realistic attempt to catch. And that will do it for the first half. So really a half of 2 halves. UBC came out of the gates with 3 unanswered tries. They put 21 on the board. And while the sin bin was happening, UVic answered with 2 tries. Currently at halftime, 21 points to 12. UBC over UVic here at the Whiteman Boot in Victoria.
At halftime, the Thunderbirds 21 and your Vikes
Great to be
12.
back at Wallace Field. I'm Gareth Reese here, joined by Ben on camera and all the team here at Vikes events. Hope you're enjoying this wherever you are.
Recreation wish to thank our amazing partners and official Vikes photographers of AP Shutter. Action photos from all
Both
Vikes
teams
events
will get a
are
bit
taken
of a
by
rest. It's been
Townsend,
a
Armando Tura,
hotly contested
and Peter
first half,
Hoffman.
decent tempo.
Vikes fans,
Sunny and
this
hot
upcoming
here in
Thursday,
Victoria.
October 6th, is the Vikes Championship Breakfast.
And as the
Funds
Dave
from
announcer
the
mentioned it, for
breakfast
those
go
of you
towards
in and around the Victoria area,
supporting Vikes student
please support the
athletes,
Vikes Championship
awards,
Breakfast.
and
It's the
scholarships.
major fundraiser
If you'd
for
like to
UVic
donate to the men's rugby team,
athletics, and if you let them know you're
visit
with men's rugby, will have
govikesgo.com/BCB
purchased by the
or
university.
scan the QR code.
A great event, and you get to hear from some of the student athletes. Field hockey will be up and being discussed by one of the great alums here at UVic. A fantastic event for everyone to connect, so please do support it. Equally, the Big Block Breakfast in UBC, support that event if you can. We need money to run these programs. Mentioned there's lots of other rugby action around town. The Pacific Pride playing out at Langford today. James Bay and Castaway Wanderers featured down at McDonald Park. On the mainland, I know the old boys are up against the Ravens. I should mention earlier today, talking about the Norsemen, that's UVic's second team beat UBC second with 28 points to 24, and the UVic women with an outstanding result here, 5 tries to 1 over CWU, that's Central Washington University. The student athletes in the end zone celebrating their performance. Great program up here, Brittany Waters and her team. Hitchborn has just had a little chat in the huddle. The backs and forwards split up. The coach of UBC Thunderbirds. Great results over the last 4 seasons. A bit of a revitalization of that program. And great competition. Credit to the Trinity Western University Spartans. They've come out of the gate. Had some good results this year. Been growing that program for some time, and credit to everyone over there. Student rugby is very healthy in British Columbia and across the country. It's growing. And again, as I said, hopefully years with U Sports, recognition of the Men's 15s Championship would be another great opportunity on campuses across the country.
Make sure to check out Vikes Women's Rugby Barbecue Fundraiser. We have chips, hot dogs, hamburgers, and ice cold drinks located under the scoreboard. Go support Vikes Women's Rugby.
It's been a strong start for UBC, as we mentioned. They did well through the fours. Jacob Bossie's been outstanding. Caden Wilson and Isaac Kelly managing the ball a lot. Josh Downs is a try to his name. Credit Carson and Abercrombie in that first 25 minutes. They controlled the match with the boot and with the hands, controlled the tempo. Understood UVic players. Big work up front. Brocan and Fat, 2 big props. I know their name a lot, but they've been doing the grind to get their team back into this. Ryder Heaney Corns, Claremont High School product, been outstanding. Back row, off with a couple of big plays. Got right, around the park, covers a lot of ground. Backline, if they're going to get back into this game, you got to think Smith and Casey. You mentioned Casey, not have to write home about, but he has the potential pedigree to respond and open up a game. He's relied on Martin Feet. In fact, three of Pedro Robinson has shown their experience. All fifth-year men. Well, nothing more than to lift the Whiteman boot. 16 points is the deficit for UBC as they got on the ferry this morning. That's now down to 7 as it's a 9-point difference in this match. I think virtually everyone in the stadium knows that. That's how the student athletes are. They know the importance of this game and the history behind it. You mentioned some great families on display here. Jacob Bourne shooting up for the UBC Thunderbirds, of course, the son of Rick Bourne, Canadian international, and UBC and UBC Old Boy Raven founder that does so much for rugby through Langway Fishing Adventures. Supporter, former chairman of Rugby Canada, going to come through the Ravens mini rugby program down at Jericho. Talked about Peyton Wilson. Here.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the teams and officials back for the second half.
Jonas Robinson in his 5th year. Again, a fine pedigree, his family. His mother was one of the pioneers of women's rugby up on this campus here, University of Victoria. And his father came up from Ontario, selected out of high school to play sevens rugby for the national team. Ended up on the UBIC campus under the tutelage of Doherty and Howe. This historic UBIC program to many, many great results, and of course a very famous international uncle in Roger Robinson, a great castaway wanderer, coach and player, put so much into the game. He's now coaching down at James Bay. Good luck to him down there as they take on his former club. But it's early possession from UBC. Still ball out of the contact. Referee's letting him play on. No, he's going to bring it back for a knock on out of the contact. Good communication from the assistant official. It looks like UBC were away. So this game really in a knife edge. As we said, there's the subplot of that 16-point advantage UVic entered the game with. A little bit subdued as both teams put sustained pressure up. UVic have shown the danger they have behind the scrum. See as Ethan Smith, physiology major from North Van. Need a little bit of X factor from him. He brought it against Trinity Western in their last game. He had a little break early on. The blind side's open to him. There's no one there. But it's crabbed across. Yeah, he has a look at it, but then it's sealed up. Referee's letting him jump off early. UVic still have possession as that scrum crabbed across. Big boys. Drew Owen Cocan, another famous family here in this game. Matt Cocan, his father. Vancouver Cat and Canadian international. Point grade secondary player. Owen has crossed the water to play for UVic. Casey finally puts it through the hands early. That's a good option. As Ripley Crindle bounces out of a couple of attacks. Now on the hard line comes Martin Feek. But he's well dealt with by this UBC defense. Casey shows and comes back in field. He's engulfed. Referee asking players not to milk. Look for the penalty. Good quick ball for UVic. Now they go with the flow. There's numbers through the hands. The short ball for the fullback, Eason. A bit of indecision there. A little bit standing still, the Vikes backs. Carrying there is big Murdoch, Casey. He gets 2 meters from the line. Now they go again. The hooker, Heaney Corns. Casey really close on the right-hand side. Now there's width. Feek decides to cheap it. Logan Feek, he's brought down. Hands might have got it done there. Now the short ball. Good patience from the UVic attack. They're pounding away, a meter from the line. Offload, the bounce. O'Dunlade is over the line. You hear the crowd, and all the subs love it. They're right there. A dream start to the second half for Coach Scott Manning, as his team puts together phase after phase, and gets it. I think it's Io with Gunlade. The biology major dissects the UBC defense with a short run and 5 points for UVic. Well, good mix of backs and forwards. Again, winning collisions. UBC falling off a few tackles. Logan Martin feet to add the extras. Again, so meaningful. Player like this, managing some injuries. Didn't have all the moments he wanted in this Vikes jersey last year. Now looking to get his team within 2. Just pulled open his right shoulder, but it's going to be okay. Down the middle. UVic 7 points to start the second half, 3.5 minutes in, and they're only 2 points adrift. So, Io Gunlade on the board. So it goes long.
That's
To the
another
sun there to
Vikes
contend
try
with.
in the
Yeah, but no
44th
surprise
minute.
there.
Coming from number 6.
Hager says we're going to have this. You can have it way back there. Off the hands of Abercrombie, but he's still got it.
Logan Martin.
Looking for a break. Sees a half gap. Wonderful scything break right through the middle. Options both sides for Abercrombie. Not able to offload, keep the play alive, but a great 40-meter run from him. Now they go wide. Biss is unmarked for the moment. He's got good feet. He draws the defense in. Shipped back in field after a tackle from Hager. UBC immediate response to that UVic try. Driving defense from UVic. Low pass. It's spilled. Kelly. Referee playing advantage. There's options for UVic. They go through the hands. Robinson can't get away. Still advantage for UVic. Want it out wide. One tackle broken. Shows to kick. Trying to stay on the park. Anderson doesn't quite get the advantage, so we're going to come back to the knock on. Good work from Anderson, showing his strength there. Man, he can play 12 as well. He's just brought down, so we're going to come back. We're actually a full penalty midfield. So, good response from UBC after an outstanding. What a shocking kick from Logan Martin feet, and these are just big mistakes and big moments in a big match. I just wonder if they're going to cost UVic, as UBC made the play early on. You mentioned was Max Abercrombie with that outstanding run from his own end. It's moments of brilliance like that that decide Whiteman boots. This time Abercrombie puts it through the hand. The offload from Priscillier. Well, neither side using their bench very deeply. Just one sub on the field for injury for UBC. Kelly, where he's been all match, midfield. 3-on-1, but the ball not released. Again, questionable decision making from Dakota McMullen. And then a free. Well, Glenn Buckingham, that's his job. North to south. As is Peyton Tanaki. Now they go to ground. UBC. Taking the phases. Priscillier. You mentioned he's got a full sevens cap to his name. And that ball's been spilled at the breakdown. So real intensity out there. Both sides guilty of some basic skills. Carson just questioning a couple of offside to break down, but the referee giving a clear explanation. It's worth noting that UBC players rightfully honoring David Brown, who's done so much for BC rugby and ended up championing the UBC program in its final years. And, a great character. He loved the game. He loved what it did for young people. And as a Ruth and the family. It's great to see him being honored on the jersey of the UBC players out here. Englishman by birth, but did so much for Canadian rugby, Dave Brown. We're going to have the set reset. UVic believe they have the advantage here. Let's see if they can take advantage through Kokan and Fat. The two big props. As always, the referee calling them in. No movement there. Credit UBC. So Casey, hands on it. He goes out the back, and they're going to use Martin Feek. And he's kicked it straight out. Again, skill breakdown for these UVic players. So a set exit strategy, not much in it, no pressure. If you're the senior UVic man, really buckling under pressure in this big match. I just wonder, managing the emotion is part of this. The traditional foes. Right now, there's 2 points in this ball game. About 8.5 minutes into the second half. UBC up 21 points to 19. That's an overthrow. So hands on it for Heaney Corns, and he's still going. And look at this man go. Outstanding work. Overlap. Got to go wide. A little slow getting it there. Rickley Crindle from the Seoul Québécois in the lineup today. Brought down. UBC steal it back. Good offload from Bossy to keep the flow with it. This coming, looking to get involved. They said serious pedigree, a man who spent some time in the Saracens Academy in the UK. Oh, and Robinson with a textbook tackle from Abercrombie. Smoo against Oak Bay High School there, and Smoo won that one. Washington's enjoying it. Jonas Robinson, not the biggest man out there, but tackles with passion. And perhaps sensing his team and some of his other senior teammates not stepping up, a textbook tackle to give his team a lift and possession. You know, the Robinson clan watching out in Toronto. His father Spencer championing the turf program, the Toronto Inner City Rugby program. Great to see. Up at Fletcher's Field today for the big McCormick Cup tilt. Saying goodbye to Fletcher's Fields as the Ontario Rugby comes to a windup. Robinson worthy of his dad's vigor and feist in that tackle. Vikes possession, another solid platform for him to work from. Casey, now he takes it flat. Shows it's midfield. Not a great deal created, but momentum over the gain line for the moment. The front row sets off on the blind side and they get it. Through Kokan. Big athletic players. UBC think they got their hands on it, and they do. Surely the ruck is formed. The referee's going to let him get away with it. Play on. Carson sees the space off the turnover. Not a bad tactic. Robinson sniffed it. It's going to roll into touch. Good turnover, good territory for UBC. Carson showing his pedigree there. And there's some discussion whether it's a 50-22. Carson knowing that the turnover ball, team is disrupted. We'll see that assistant officials flag. The wind is coming straight across the field here into Heaney Corns. Going absolutely nowhere near 10 for the UBC backs. Good possession. They're going to go with the exit strategy. Again, subplot here. That's a much better strike. Jacob Bourne trying his best to keep it in, but it's actually bounced. A much better clearing kick from Logan Martin Feek, getting his team 10 meters into the UBC half. And as I mentioned, if you're just joining us, great to have you here. I'm Gareth Reese here up at Wallace Field with Ben on camera and our team here. Bringing you the Whiteman boot. That's the battle between UVic and UBC. It's a two-match affair. 2 weeks ago, UVic went over to UBC, the mainland, and won 30 points to 14 in a big physical victory for them. So 16 points to deficit. Kelly's lost another ball in midfield, so UVic had a chance to attack here. UBC came out of the gates 21 points up, and we're looking with one hand on the Whiteman boot, but UVic clawed their way back. Casey with some strange decisions. Another turnover decision. He's a very lucky boy because UBC had their hands on it, but they were offside. That's how they got so much pressure on Casey. So if you're suggesting, I'm suggesting why UVic not playing like they're down 2, it's because they're really up 14 in the Whiteman boot match. And that's maybe why they're going to have a shot at this long-range goal, which would give them the match lead, but also build that lead they have in the 2-match series. Martin Peak is capable of this kind of distance. Played some rugby for West Shore RFC out in Western Communities here in Victoria, in Langford, the home of Rugby Canada. Noting as we honor Truth and Reconciliation Day. Both these teams had a nice moment off the top. It was a local ceremony. That kick is nowhere near long enough. Has crossed the 22 though, and they're going to run it out so they don't have to do a 22 dropout. UBC looking to tap from deep in their own. Bourne steps out of one tackle, looks to offload, but there's no one there. Advantage being played to UBC. So full penalty, a chance for them to clear their lines. Carson has a look, not to be. Just going back to Truth and Reconciliation moment before the game. Both teams honored. UVic are wearing a commemorative jersey designed by Trey Nation. Will be auctioned off. Keep your eyes open for that. Thunderbirds on that jersey. Beautiful stuff. Every Child Matters logo on there. And it will be auctioned to benefit Thunder Rugby program for First Nations young people to be active, to get involved. I know they've had some great activities down in California early this year. John Lyle and his team doing great work there. And of course this UVic program where we reside. 2 legends of the UVic program in Phil Mack, one of the greatest 7th players ever to play the game. He's now coaching the Pride, and Bob Ross, fly half of extraordinary talent, who has played some major roles, won a couple of Whiteman boots on his own through his boot over the years. Both proud First Nations rugby players. They've been part of this inclusive community over the years, serving the game and representing their nation, Canada, and their own First Nations. So UBC looking to claw back. Need 14 points. James Biss dancing across. Oh, he's picked up a blocker. Maybe a little harsh there from referee Turner, but he's in no doubt. As the man was ahead of the tackle and prevented Biss being tackled. Tough there as Biss is just looking to try and create something. UBC have been very quiet since that first 15 to 20 minutes in attack. 1 break from Abercrombie in this half. That's about all they have to show from it. UVic, great scrum ball. Little discussion between the senior vets. That's Hager, Robinson. Robinson drops to the bottom of your screens. He's got the whole right-hand side to work with a full complement for Casey to the left-hand side, the top of your screens. Again, a little slow in the channeling for UVic. The short ball. Now they go wide. Again, using their star player. He gets it through the hands. Hager's into space. He spilled it forward. Advantage to UBC. Off goes Biss. 1 step, 2 step. Offload. This play's still alive. UBC, that one's gone forward out of the hand. The referee needs some help. And he's in good position. He's caught up to it. It didn't need to because UBC were threatening. Carson may have gone the way. And deep in the end zone, Carson and Robinson have a little bit of a push and shove. 2 players that know each other well. Referee wants a number. He's going to come back for a high tackle, I believe. The pass was forward from UBC to UBC. And come all the way back for a high tackle. So because it's foul play, the referee will bring it back all the way to the initial infringement, so that breakout will be null and void. So reprieve for UVic. Oh, it's going to be against UBC, so that was after the initial break when Ethan Hager was shooting up the left-hand sideline. That's when the tackle came in from a UBC player on UVic. So scrum for UVic. A perfect attacking opportunity for the UVic backline. Casey's played relatively deep and fairly narrow. The crowd trying to get the home side support. Let's listen in. We want this backline to create something. Ethan Hager lurking in behind his 10. Casey. The drive is on. Casey's got his hands on it. He keeps it. He offers one tackle. The right arm's free. He offloads to his center. Great interplay. And finally, the senior man, Logan Martin is over the line. UVic takes the lead for the first time today here at the Whiteman booth. Well, there's no substitute for size. Gabe Casey has had some question moments in this match. At 6'3", 215, wisely backs himself. Physically takes on that UBC defense. Gets the right arm free, and Logan Feet knows where to be. Right on his left shoulder. He gets the try for UBC. And at 6'1", 205, he had some work to do. He gets over the line. Clinical stuff from UVic, capitalizing on that penalty. Again, not particularly creative, but wise use of the physical advantage from Gabe Casey. They originate from Ottawa. In discussions on the representative side of things with Coach Kingsley Jones, taking an interest in, you've got a man with that frame that can play 10, 6'3", 215. You want to find out what he's up to, the 23-year-old. Gordon Feek looking to add the conversion for a natural goal. Having a look. The crowd will tell you they like it. So only 6 points up for UVic over UBC at 21. Just about halfway through the second half. And it's been all UVic. Second half with 17, sorry, more than that, unanswered points. Second half. That 21-point lead for UBC seems an eternity ago. So conventional kick to the big boys, giving the UVic forwards a chance to start their rumble. On the ball quickly is Smith. He's been busy and smart today. Oh yeah, numbers out wide. I was going to say it was a good decision from Akinsayi to not pass, but he's just spilled it. Unlucky for him. Pakistan, but was zip high. Credits to his name and Jamesway Athletic Association. So, having a breather will be Owen Kokan. Great start from him. Man has played his part. Kept a solid scrum, been busy carrying the ball and some big hits in defense. That one's going to be reset. Well, interesting. 21 points has just been shouted out in the field by UVic.
Scored by number 12,
That, of course, is the cumulative
Logan
score for the
Feet.
Whiteman Boot. 16 in Vancouver and 5 are up here, UVic. UBC scrum. UVic, I know, thought they might try and apply some pressure here. From the field, I think that's Jack Marshall is on. Oh, there's the pressure. And the ball's bobbled straight into the hands of the scrum half. Ethan Smith. Spilled again, so we're going to come back for the initial one. So good pressure from UVic at scrum time, and I'll take that back. It's Phoenix Moeller. Credit the Abbey man. He's come on the field and made a difference at scrum time. You got to sink is what the sideline's telling UBC. He's got to hit and hold and that ball away. From all the Bateman, the great program they've developed there. Gonna have it reset again. Off in the way when you get new front row players introduced. Lose some of the rhythm, no problems really in the first 60 minutes. referee giving clear commands at scrum time. Gone are the days of the dastardly dark arts of the front row firing into each other. That one's gone down straight away, and UBC's going to penalize. Quick tap from the number 8, Marcus Lott. Now they go wide, on the move. The big winger who's been outstanding in this game. Again, the one-handed offload. It's been knocked on. Perhaps an unwise pass there from Ethan Hager. Brantford Collegiate, and of course the great Brantford Harlequins Club. Looking to make some substitutions here. Coach Clay Hitchborn looking to change the tempo, and I think he's right. I think he's wise to. He does have that 21-point gap he needs to make up to win the Whiteman boot, let alone the 5 to win this match. And Uvik sensing the frustration, the fans getting into it. We're going to have our 3rd scrum in a row reset. Should be an opportunity to get the subs on the field. It will be Baudry Lamont in the 17 jersey waiting to come in and hopefully spark this UBC Thunderbird team. Here he comes. On the field. Come on the field for Colin Buckingham, and he's played a big part. Buckingham works really hard up front. The Okanagan product, good work from the man up in BC's interior. The coast is not the only place to play good rugby in this province. Uvik looking to cheer their crowd on. It's a messy scrum. Play on to the referee. The offload doesn't go to hand. Now there's going to be a penalty. Not quite sure what that can be for after the play on call. Not driving straight is the penalty against Owen Cocan. Owen's on the field at the moment, so. UBC choosing to gain some territory. They'll get to work from the set piece here. Thanks for joining us wherever you are on YouTube. Great to bring you this great university rugby action. I'm Gareth Reese here at Wallace Field. We have about 15 minutes to go in this second of 2 matches in the Whiteman boot. Uvik went down early, but have come all the way back. UBC looking to go. Quick spin around from Wilson Valdez, another Okanagan product. Casey dumps him unceremoniously. Now UBC a few options. Abercrombie through the hands. This goes wide. Good recognition from him. Facilier in space. The dancing feet. Gets out of the first tackle. Looks to offload, but it's knocked down from Martin Feek. Good play from him. It's gone backwards. There's no penalty here. Just warning if it's a knock on. He's going to award the try here, I believe. There it is. Wow. So I saw him keep coming back. He knocked it to Martin Feek, so he knocked the ball down. And the referee didn't think it was off a blue hand, so as they pounced on it, the try is given. This thing is not over. UBC right back in the game. Apologies, I didn't see who grounded it. That will give Max Abercrombie a chance to take the lead here, as this one's all tied up, 26 points apiece here. The Whiteman boot does not fail to deliver. Great action, good pride on offer, and good comeback from UBC. This for the lead in today's match. Max Abercrombie. Working off that right post. You get a good shot of it here from Ben and our team. Right footer naturally swings from right to left. He's pulled it and he started left and it stayed left. Unfortunate for him. He's converted the 3 previous tries, not this one. This one stays all tied. Just under 13 minutes to play. So opportunistic try from UBC.
Thunderbirds try to tie it up, converted by number 10.
I mentioned both these sides aware of the big programs that have gone ahead of them, all the great national team players, sevens, Olympians, all sorts. On these jerseys, they don't want to let anyone down, and UBC showing their pride there, clawing their way back. You know, things haven't been going their way. They're more possession. Time for Dakota McMullen, such a bright prospect. Great to see he and his brother develop here in the next few years. Vancouver boys. So Tallahan will sit this one out. Wide pass. Yeah, flirting with the sideline. Bourne trying to keep it alive. Trying for Josh Downs. Spent a lot of time on the end there. He's got one try to show for it though. Oh, big hit. Merlin McLeod with a PEI hit there. Out the back door. Now they go wide. Coming on a line. They wanted out wide, but it didn't get there. This realizing there's options. A bit of a Fiji tap there in midfield. Again, credit this Vikes pack. They've worked hard to realign and made some big tackles. That one spilled again. It's gone forward. Referee's picked it up. No advantage. Well, how about a shout-out? Well, Ryder Healy's points has been outstanding in the hooker role. Happy Saeed, Murdoch Casey, the back row, Dunley, Merlin McLeod, and Marcus Lott. Putting the work in. Not all the glory always. And you see Dunley just a little sore getting up, and you don't question why, as is Saeed. Coach Curry Hitchborn just suggesting to UBC they're playing a little too much rugby in their own end. Use the boot, use this wind that's marginally at their back. And I think good advice from him. Things aren't really clicking. Now, UVic with a great opportunity. Robinson to the bottom of your screen. They go right, and they're looking to, but it pops out the side, so they go left through Casey. He ships it wide. Martin Feek. Into space again, but also into touch. Rosie's been needed. Fifth-year commerce student just ran out of territory there. Well, great for both of these sets of student athletes. We've had to deal with COVID in the last couple of years and continuing their studies and the campuses being closed. Just awesome they can be out here on a beautiful September day in Victoria. One of the great sights for university rugby, expressing themselves and battling against their mates and rivals here. That's what it's all about. Good to see rugby back in full force. There's a roll. Got away with one there, I think. He's deemed to be off the feet, but he's not. He's on his feet the whole way, but players make mistakes. Occasionally, the referee got one wrong. Referee Sarah Turner's been outstanding in this, communicating to the players. It will give UBC a chance to gain some territory with just under 10 minutes to go. They need 16 points unanswered in this two-match affair. There's the territory that Coach Hitchborn asked for. Penalty advantage to UBC. They can risk their hand here. Fisk jumps on it, his first receiver. He can play 10. So he's maybe giving it a little different look. And he's brought some energy to it when he's touched the ball. Now they're going to kick and chase. Vasily is off and running. He's got pace. Substitute scrum half is all the way back there. And that is Tufel. He does really well, and the supporting cast is there for UVic. No panic from them. Jenna Tufel, Duncan man, does the hard work, and again Casey takes an age to kick the ball, almost gets it blocked. It could be a quick throw out. Yeah, it's gonna be from UBC. Wisely, knowing they need points, 8 minutes to play, they gotta get something. Jacob Bourne, great sevens player, great stepper, still going, beautiful run from him, but UBC a little light in support lines. UBC, 2 tries plus. Bourne, gets it wide to the hooker, Jacob Bossy. Again, Biss shooting it through the hands. Great stuff from him. Priscilla, 2-on-1. He keeps it. And thankfully the tackle's missed. He gets there. Oh, is the ball grounded? Yes, says the referee. UBC back in this one. Well, good try out wide. Nice final pass from Matt Persilier. But James Biss, stepping into the first receiver role, has transformed this game in the last 7 minutes for UBC. He's brought energy, he's released the ball, and he's found the open man out wide. And the likes of Matt Persilier, who've been covered for most of the day, have found space. Created that one out wide. Bourne started it with a great run to get some go forward here on the near sideline. The extras. Next Abercrombie. Ball's falling over. He requested the referee as this is right to reset it. Well, credit UBC. They were adrift about 7 minutes ago. They've got 2 tough tries here. Again, the Thunderbirds, the pride in this jersey. Abercrombie's less of a full routine, but a nice strike. Oh, and he's out of it. From the wrong sideline. Great work from him, restoring the 7-point advantage. Now 9 is what UBC's chasing. Just over 6 minutes to play. There's a high drama here. The referee's just correcting me that it's actually going to be 7 minutes to play. Good communication again from him. Turner, so positive in the way he deals with these student athletes. There's a hanging kick off his feet. Goes to Coda McMullen. Possession for UBC, and they got all sorts of men midfield. Abercrombie hits the first runner. It's a bit of a hand battle, but it comes back. Again, Bisson stepping in, creating things, keeping that ball alive. Ooh, a little late to arrive are the UBC players. They're going wide successfully, but the support is a little bit questionable. Again, big contact, and man has got to have his hand up for man of the match. Is Ryder Heaney-Corn still putting in the shots. Done it from the hooker position for UVic. He's been outstanding. Ball's been stolen, maybe not legally, but Martin Feek has kind of knocked it back to UVic's side, although UBC have their hands on it again. Now they're going to use the exit strategy, use the wind here. That one hangs high. Casey, who's in the fullback role, comes forward. Robinson looping around. He's in space. He loves the step. It's off the left foot. Keeps it alive. 3-on-2 for UVic. Show and go from Big Murdoch Casey through the middle. UVic building the pressure. Nursing a 9-point lead. More hard carries from the bench. That's Hare. Everyone contributing for UVic. A test of the club, the depth. The time these players are spent together. Mahler. UVic with the clock winding down. 5 minutes to play. Wisely running through the phases. And the UBC have won the penalty. Side entry for UVic. Possession. Quick tap. Why not? Persilier. He's got license. He doesn't have a lot of support though. And he's scragged to the ground with a jersey grab. UBC do get there. Quick pick from Jacob Bossi. Outstanding match from him too. Bring it over here, lads, from the UBC sideline. They want it midfield when the likes of big eyes of Kelly are lining up. There he is, midfield hit up, bang, but all day he's been dealt with by his opposite number on this occasion, Marcus Lott. There's space, Carson into space, rounding Casey. He's got 22 meters to go, 10 meters, over the line. Jack Carson, the UBC captain, with a crucial try. What a comeback from the UBC Thunderbirds. 38 points goes up on the board. 12 points the advantage with this conversion from Abercrombie right in front. That will make the advantage in this game 14 points. UVic coming out of Vancouver 2 weeks ago with a 16-point lead. So if Abercrombie's kick is good, UVic will kick off with just under 4 minutes to play. With a narrow 2-point lead.
Kelly, you good?
Max Abercrombie, the Victoria boy. Bay High School, the UBC Thunderbirds. There it is. So the first 15 minutes of this match were all UBC, 3 unanswered tries. The last 10 minutes have been all UBC with 3 unanswered tries. 40 points to 26. The clock in the stadium showing just under 2 minutes to play, but of course, a referee is the sole judge of time, and he's just said 3 minutes. So 1 minute longer than the stadium. We have an ending here. A penalty would win the Whiteman boot for UBC. Don't delay. Players listening to referees after what we saw in the Southern Hemisphere. That same conventional kick. UBC gathers. First tackle broken. They have possession. That's first phase. They want to drive. They want to get within kicking distance from Max Abercrombie, or ultimately a try to steal the Whiteman boot. UBC in the dark jerseys, playing from right to left. This has been an inspiration in the second half. Does it again. Keeps the ball alive. UBC approaching UVic's half. That pass has gone forward. The UVic fans love it, but if you're listening over on the mainland, that's got to be painful. 2 minutes to play. UVic with a scrum. Gareth Reese here at Wallace Field, delighted to be bringing this match, and both of these sets of players haven't let us down. The great history of the UVic-UBC rivalry is on display, and listen to this crowd. And below us, the UBC sideline. Both sets of student athletes cheering on their teammates, their mates. This is what it's all about. UVic with their hands on the ball in a narrow 2-point lead. Drew Casey wisely just hit up to their senior leader, Martin Feek. Now they're going to work the short side. This is straight off the training field. Work the phases, side to side. Need lots of support over the ball to UVic. 2 minutes declared by our referee. Marcus Lott carries hard. UBC trying to do anything to steal it. And the referee has given a penalty to UBC. Almost unfathomable. As there was immediate support from UVic there. He's deemed that UBC held on at the tackle. Sorry, UVic held on at the tackle. The 7 was on his feet, but there was a formed ruck. Going to be one to debate, but it won't matter. UBC will take it. They have a line out narrowly inside the UVic 22. Got to be note coming up to the last minute of play. Condensed line out for UBC as they're hovering with 5 players. Doesn't look straight. The referee said play on. The players will decide this. They're in potential Abercrombie kicking distance. For those of you watching the NFL, that would be your field goal. Red line would be out there, about somewhere here. Kelly falls forward. Crucial yardage. UBC through the hands. Time is winding down. We're into the last minute here. They've got their hands on it. UVic do not want to offend. 2 points the advantage for UVic. The counter ruck comes in. Hands on it. Counter ruck's good to the referee. Now they're off their feet. That would be a long-range penalty, but definitely possession for UBC. Carson has a little word with Abercrombie. The Oak Bay High School boys have a chat. 15 seconds. If they take the penalty, kick for touch, they could have a go. They would still be allowed to put the line out in because it's a penalty. Now they're going to have a shot. There's the signal. The 2 Victoria boys on UVic soil here have decided to give Max Abercrombie a shot at this. And let me tell you, this is not the first time in Whiteman Boot history that this fixture has been decided on the last kick of the game. I mentioned the incredible Bobby Ross way back in the late 80s winning a match through a 50-meter kick. So many great players over the years. And Abercrombie is even, I love to see it, just stolen a few extra feet there. That's what is a 47-meter kick. Hint of wind at his back, pushing his ball more to the left. If this goes over, the Whiteman boot will be in the hands of UBC Thunderbirds. If it's short, it will be game over UVic for the first time in 9 years. We'll lift the famed Whiteman boot. It's all on Max Abercrombie. Clean strike. He's got enough distance. He's just floating with the left post. just narrowly slides by the left post, and they got to get it off the field. They do. That'll do it. The 2022 Whiteman boot goes the way of the University of Victoria Vikings. They win the aggregate score by 2 points. What a fantastic effort by both sets of student athletes. And what a moment for the UVic senior players, the fifth-year players in Denver Fat.
Ladies and gentlemen, at the end of regulation time, your final score is Thunderbirds 40
Gabe
and your
Casey,
UVic Vikes
Ethan
26.
Hager, Logan
Thank
Martin
you for joining us for a great
put a few
afternoon
points on the
rugby at
board
Wallace
today.
Field. Your Vikes are
Jonas
back at
Robinson,
home
the
November
captain,
5th
and Andrew
against
Eason
Mariloma.
all celebrate with their teammates a famous victory for UVic. But as we see the teams exhausted at the end of that one, credit to the UBC Thunderbirds in the dark blue jerseys. They maybe weren't favorites coming into this, but they fought right to the death. They made up that 16-point advantage. And I will say, in the words of my father, as we have thoughts with Max Abercrombie, what a great strike from him. Kickers don't lose games, they win games. And he almost won it, but cruel for him. Both these teams will have another chance to keep playing in the BC competition, but also in the Canadian University Men's 15s Championships. Will they be the finalists again, as they have done the last two championships? Tune in over at UBC at the end of November for that great competition. If this game was anything to go by, their matchup there will be a doozy, along with all the other great university teams. Jonas Robinson leads the Vikings through handshakes all around, respect from both teams. And credit Jack Carson and his UBC Thunderbirds as well. I think they shock on both sets of players, especially those UVic players. They spent a lot of time together, this group, a little bit more senior than the UBC crew, have had a bit of turnover. But they are in disbelief, I think, but proud winners of the Whiteman boot. Credit Scott Manning in his second year up here and bringing his coaching staff together and building a program. A great day for UVic rugby as the women won their match against Central Washington. The Norsemen won their tilt against the UBC second team. And now here, although they lost this one 40 points to 26, a famous victory for UBC, it wasn't quite enough as UVic win the Whiteman boot. And I suppose they say a tie is like kissing your sister. Well, losing at home to UBC is not the greatest feeling for UVic, but lifting the Whiteman boot is the ultimate prize, and they will have it for this year, 2022. Well, I got to say thank you all for joining us. Thank you to the athletes and everyone here at the Vikes events team for putting on a great show. Hope you've enjoyed where we are. Let the UVic people know that you enjoyed it. It's great. The Vikes tradition goes on. To Ben, our cameraman, who's done both games here, thank you very much. Great work up on his own up here in the scissor lift. And for myself, Gareth Reese, it's been an honor to bring you this game. Congratulations, both teams. All the best, everyone. Take care. Good job, mate. Great job. Yeah. It's exciting, eh? Yeah.